Okay, this will be tidbits on my step two. The step two in itself is very simply came to believe in a power greater than ourselves that could restore us to sanity. Right, that's it. That's all that is that step. That's what it's written. Now, my knee-jerk reaction to this step was, I mean, it was like a complete push. Number one, I had no belief that I was insane. How the hell am I? I know that I'm not mad woman. So insanity. I had an idea of what insanity was, and it was locked into place. I've been a mad woman locked up in a asylum. The cat doesn't know how to speak or whatever. That was very insane. So I had a very locked idea on it, and I definitely wasn't that. So, and the part of the power greater myself, I didn't read that. I heard, what I heard was, what I read under the next step upwards, the word God was looking at me from step three, and I thought they're talking about God here when they say higher power. So again, there was this kind of it was a pure resistance. It was like, I've had enough of this. There's no way that this, or I could have lived this life if there was a God, or what was done unto me, or I've seen done unto others, could to be a God in place, a loving God. Yeah. I grew up in a home where, it's an Irish home, a Catholic home. There's Mary, Jesus and Joseph in every room. There's a picture, an actual picture of all the Holy Family. I left my home and I went into the nun school. The nun school was a nuns Catholic school, and again the same thing was embraced there, and the same pictures were all around me. It was like pressed onto me from day one, day dot. So, I had a lot of reactions towards that, and a lot of kind of like confusion, a lot of stiffness about it. So, to me, when it says come to believe in a power greater than themselves, what I heard was they're asking me to believe in God here, and it's not going to happen. That's what I read. That's how I reacted towards it. So, my tidbit number one is, please just look at the words. It's came to believe in a power greater than ourselves. It doesn't say who that power is or what that power is. It just has to be a loving power, one. And it means, the other side of it is came to believe. Came means that it's tough time. It takes time. It's a process. So you don't have to have all the I definitely believe 100% now, so I can say I believe. No, you don't have to have that. You have to have the willingness to open your mind a little. That's all. You have to have the willingness to open your mind to another perspective. And that to me was very hard. When it came to the insanity, let's take the easier part of this step for me, the insanity. Right at the end of my drinking and using, as I've stated in my step one, um, I had stopped. I'd come to the stage of where drinking drugs was not working for me. I would be drinking as much as I could down the hatch, and what you call it, the reality was I didn't feel drunk. And people would say to me, "You're drunk," and I'd lost the feeling of feeling drunk. Um, I had lost the feeling of any sort of buzz from the drugs. So I had come to a place of where I was following overdose. I got to a place of the only time that I would have some sort of peace giving kind of click over would be overdosing, when I overdosed, which was a very dangerous thing because I chased that. Yeah, like I chased the other buzzes, I chased that buzz. And I've been outside hospital, left outside hospitals, like there's many times I could have passed over. But anyhow, what I'm getting to say was that I didn't see that as insanity. And even though I talk about it now, if I was to see myself 30 years ago, 29, 30 years ago, and see myself going for that high, you know, and nothing else being able to do for me. You know, drugs had stopped working, drink had stopped working. I'd stopped getting any relief. So the only relief was that click over of overdosed. Now, if I look at me in a room going for that, I just feel insane. I feel that's insanity in action. Do you understand what I mean? It's just like I couldn't see it while I was in it. All I could see was I needed something to happen when I'd done all this action of using and drinking and nothing was happening. So slowly but surely with the insanity, I could see that was insane. I mean, come on, how many times have you nearly lost your life because of that? Same person doesn't do that. I would drink and drive and think I was a better driver because I had drink and met. You know, same people don't think like that. You know, so I had to shift my idea of what insanity was because as I explained, I was so locked in ideas, you know, fixed ideas, and there was no grey room, there was no room. So I had to open up my mind in the sense of I had to, through my step one, see insanity, insane actions, things that I'd done, and I'd say, I'm going to do this now, and I take this action, and I'll get this result, and I'd take this reaction, and I wouldn't get the result. You know, I was doing the same thing, but and expecting a different result, but I was doing the same thing. So I was able to say, okay, I can handle the second part of the step right there. But going from the insanity, I can open it up. Not that I'm totally insane. No, of course not. But yes, I have been in situations which I acted insanely. I could get to that far, yeah. That was enough for me to actually be willing to do the step. Yeah, I had to bring across my step one and see where the insanity actions that I was, you know, that I took under place. So that's a tidbit I have is define the insanity, look at the actions of what you were like when you were, you know, using or drinking. That's my tidbit because, you know, my first reaction, as I said, knee bend was rejected completely, you know, and stick with that fixed idea of what I had insanity was, or an insane person was. But then it went on, I had to untangle myself a lot from the religion. You know, I grew up in a home, as I said, Catholic religion, there was God everywhere around the house, same things in the non-school, same things in the small town that I came from, the society. I was like wrapped in Catholicism, yeah. And I had to entangle myself from old stories, yeah, that I had to, my tidbit is this, write down, if you have yourself all entangled in something that you can't breathe and you know doesn't fit you, right, some belief, then you have to put it in paper, clear it, clearly put in paper. What is it you believe? Think about what you believe, then think about the next step would be, think about who gave you that belief. Where did that belief come from? Was it society? Was it institutions? Was it schools? Was it your family? You know, you had, beside that, I done that. That was my tidbit. This is my tidbit, was to write what I believed and what I was told I was believed, and actually a lot of things that I had been told to believe in, I actually believed, you know, so which was a bit scary in a sense, because it was that fight inside myself, you know. I see God in two ways. like had two minds. He was either loving or he was going to punish me. I was going to go to hell. And that was it, you know. And from my understanding, I couldn't say that a God could allow so much pain, you know, because I always focused in on pain around me in this world as I went through it, and I always seen where the pain was. So for me, having an understanding that there could be, that there was a God, I had rejected it. I would fight you in a pub with a drink to me about why I don't believe there is no God, and I would argue and myself away with you the whole night. But here on the step two, I had to untangle myself. Yeah, I had to unwrap what was inside of my belief system. So I had to put it down plainly in front of me. What the belief was, where did I get it from? And then the next step I took, next tidbit was, do I still believe that today? Is that a belief that I actually believe now as an adult, as me? You know, do I believe this? And the ones that I did believe in, I kept. The ones I didn't believe, I tried to push aside. What this done for me, it brought me to a place of where I had a little bit more space, so that I could open up a bit more. Yeah, and but I had to get a lot of weeds out. I had to get a lot of old understandings out, and I only touched about 5%, 10% in my first step one. You know, it's through the years the weeds have got more and more out, kind of been released from. So it's getting clear on on your ideas and your beliefs. Now, the next part was, I was told, well, who said this step was anything got to do with God? This is about a power greater than yourself. This could be anything. Why you know,